Good afternoon, Aurelians, Forensic Chemistry and Toxicology. Sa ganito'y Mark 2 BM and I'm from 3CRI-A1-8. Topic natin dito ngayon is physical evidence and chain of custody. So, ano nga ba yung physical evidence? Yung physical evidence, in the crime scene, yung forensic expert is hinahanap niya yung physical evidence, and then yung mga evidence na to, such as object found in the crime scene, is also known as physical evidence. So, yung example ng physical evidence, fingerprint, footprint, handprint, tide marks, cut marks, tool marks, and then these are collected carefully and examined in the laboratory could be described as the combinations of trace evidence and blood spatter, semen, visual, and then understanding voice recording and criminal records. Much can be learned about the happen in the crime scene through the trace evidence. And then dito, trace evidence. Sa trace evidence, ini-include niya yung mga fiber, hair, soil, wood, gunshot residue, and pollen are the only a few example of trace evidence that may be transferred between people, object, or the environment during the crime. And then sa physical evidence naman tayo. Physical evidence is any material object that plays some role in the matter that gave rise to the litigations introduced as evidence. And then example naman dito, firearm and fire ammunitions, fingerprints, tool mark, tire tracks, and footwear impressions. Dito sa chart, pinapakita dito kung ano yung pag-collect ng isang physical evidence. So, unang gagawin natin, ways to collect physical evidence. Unang gagawin is dapat i-document and i-photograph natin yung isang evidence. Pangalawa, properly secure the evidence by placing in the paper bag or envelope. Pangatlo, close and seal or tape the paper bag or the envelope. The examiner must be write initial date and time across the sealed area. So, dito na ito pumapasok yung isang chain of custody. And then, dito, pang-apat, i-label natin yung bag or yung envelope with the patient identifying informations. And then, yung pang-lima, examiner must place signature date and time on the envelope. So, kailangan daw yung isang examiner, kailangan daw na ilagay niya yung mga signature niya, date, kung kailan niya kailan niya nalagyan ng signature, and then time on the, and then yung time, ilalagay niya rin ito sa mga envelope. So, what will happen if the evidence are contaminated by your own hair and saliva and fingerprint? So, ano daw mangyayari sa isang evidence kung na-contaminate natin ito sa sarili nating buhok or saliva and then yung fingerprint. So, dito, this requires crime scene investigator be especially careful to guard against contaminations in the forensic samples. Miscarriage of justice can occur then when this procedure are not carried out carefully and accurately. So, sa pangalawa naman, this happen when someone sneezes or coughs over the evidence and touch her mouth, nose, or other part of the body, and then touches the area that may contain the evidence. Miscarriage of justice to occur when the procedure are not carried out carefully. So, dito, ito is mangyayari lang kung yung isang tao or yung isang investigator is nahawakan niya or by her mouth, nose, and other parts of her body, or yung sa buhok, is mangyayari lang to pag hindi tayo proper uniform, or na hindi tayo proper material sa pag-collect ng isang bagay or isang evidence. Proper establishing chain of custody evidence. So dito naman, yung proper na pag-establish natin yung chain of custody evidence, dito, it is important to not only document what is being obtained, but who is doing the collections when it was collected, and other details that validate the evidence. The chain of custody documentations provides information regarding to the collections, transportations, storage, and general handling of the electronic evidence. The chain of custody proves the integrity of the piece of evidence. A proper trail is maintained so that the persons who had charge of the evidence at any given time can be known quickly and summoned to testify during the trial if required.